Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live show with a wonderful fellow partner, the great Will Fix. How you doing tonight, Will Fix?
I am doing so good. I can't stand it.
That's good, man. Right on. Good to hear. Before we start welcoming you guys, I realize that people start filtering in, and we don't want to disregard super chats because what's the point of doing a super chat? Somebody's not going to mention it on time. So the first super chat came in from the one and only Henry Brown. Thank you so much, sir. $2 super chat. He says, Shannon the Cannon Briggs said, let's go, champ. I remember Shannon Briggs from the early 2000s, late 90s, actually, also. Thank you so much, Henry Brown. Nice way to start things off. Also, another super chat from Henry Brown, a $5 one. He says, Nas is live at the barbecue. That would be amazing. My all-time favorite rapper. On top of that, Henry Brown, $2 super chat. Tim Shea, we need to drop an Oakland track. Thanks, man. And while we're here, I want to welcome Z, aka Jeff Pruden. Good to see you, Mr. Jeff Pruden. All right, let's start off with the first comments. We're going to do about roughly 5 minutes to just welcome you guys and so on. All we ask, since it's not a sponsored channel or anything like that, you smash the like. Make sure you sub to both Will Fix, myself, Maximus Crypto. But good to see the one and only Patrick Collier in the house. He says, MC fam, great to see you, man. And Tim Shea is in the house who says, hey, great to see the Mayor Crypto Commissioner represent the 589th District of the XRP Army and his fellow constituents, Mr. Tim Shea. Yes. There you go. There you go. All right. Let's also welcome Gerald. Great to see you, Gerald. Joseph Enrique says, woo. Good to see you, Joseph. Dan Armin, Elon Muff, Mike Cornwell.
Yo.
Yes. Mick Baz from Australia. Awesome to see guys from down under. Dan Armin, welcome back. Love the Napoleon Dynamite. By the way, little known fact,
yeah.
Will Fix is a huge fan of Napoleon Dynamite.
Absolutely.
I am too. Anyway. Humble Servant is in the house. Afternoon, gentlemen. Good to see you, Humble Servant. Welcome back. And on top of it, there is Will Fix's wife, Anne Marie Fix.
Mama.
Good to see you, Anne Marie. Here's a dab from the virtual world. Jim Miller, good evening, Max and Will and everyone. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. Jim Miller, Dale Romo, a lot of you guys. All right, so we have... let's see here. Z, I got you a membership. That is true. Jeff Pruden, you were a lucky random draw the other night. So yes, that was true. Yeah, while he was gone. Lee Brown is in the house. Greetings, gentlemen. Herb Rice, what is the P and XRP? Would you like to answer that, Mr. Will Fix?
I do not know.
So we did this a long time ago when it comes to this. So when you guys see the X's, right? XRP, cross border, just like you go to a railroad crossing, right? Cross border, Ripple, cross border, XRP. So RP, Ripple, XDC, got again the whole thing cross border. Zinfin, though, right? Why don't they call it XDF or something? I don't know. Anyway, Stellar, same type of concept, cross border. LM as in lumens, stellar lumens. But anyway, some people asked about that a while back. Let's also welcome Salamander, XTC Commander. Good to see you here, sir. Boom. Thank you, Salamander. XXI Gaming. Awesome phone call from you earlier, man. It was such a pleasure to be able to talk to you on the phone. I'll do it again sometime, obviously. Great to see you. Cool Cat Crypto's in the house. And good to see you, Cool Cat. Cool Cat, I just want to make an announcement real quick before we start the show. And that is, I am now a huge fan of Victor. Yes, Mr. Wemby of the San Antonio Spurs. Even though I'm a Suns fan, it's hard to root for the Spurs. I'm not rooting for the Spurs. I'm rooting for him. What an amazing basketball player he is. My goodness. All right. Let's also welcome Boomer F and Sooner, the one and only Boomer F and Sooner. Boomer, little known fact, Will, is such a huge fan of your hose analogy. I say that sarcastically, but anyway, that's okay. And Carlos Costa says, "Hey guys." All right.
What's up, sir?
Yeah, I agree with you, Triple C. We are now going to get into the coverage of what we have tonight. It is obviously XRP. And, yesterday, some of you guys were tagging me in regards to HSBC and so on. And I said, you know what? Let's wait until Will Fix is here tomorrow. Well, tomorrow's here. So we're going to talk about all this stuff. I guess I'll read this real quick because it's a question. Humble Service says, you guys mind if we touch on what took place at Ripple Swell yesterday and today? I missed a lot of info because of work. Well, maybe we could touch a little bit on it, but the main thing that we were going to talk about tonight was what you see in the thumbnail in regards to HSBC. So who knows? Maybe we get more into it, but yeah, that's the main thing we're going to get into. Will, would you like to go ahead and present that on the screen?
Why, sure.
All right.
Let's take a look at it here. Burner, burner, burner.
And let me pull up a little icon for you guys. There we go.
Let me go to this. Also share audio. And for some reason that didn't show. So let's try it this way.
Yeah, just share as a tab and it automatically does the audio.
Right. Yeah, I'm just hitting present and going to screen share. And now it's popping up. All right. Everybody see it?
No, you got to click on it one more time. Makes it a little bit bigger. There you go. There you go. And then let's see.
Yeah, basically what we're going to go over real fast is we'll go over this HSBC, and then we're going to go over Metaco. Then we're going to go over some of the gold, maybe not in this order, some of what they're doing, tokenizing gold, and some of the other possibilities. And that's a lot of the news that happened. So I'll probably answer that question pretty good. Anyway, here we go. HSBC. Announcing HSBC's new digital assets custody service. HSBC announced today that it plans to launch a new digital asset custody service for institutional clients who invest in tokenized securities. Now, all this stuff, I mean, as we pass by this stuff, I mean, these are all confirmations of things that aren't always known. But there we have it. I'm not going to try to put a note in every time we read a little paragraph, but the digital asset custody service for institutional clients who invest in tokenized securities. I mean, so this is already going on. Anyway, once live in 2024, how long away is that? HSBC's new digital asset custody service will complement HSBC Orion. It almost looks like onion. The bank's platform for issuing digital assets, as well as HSBC's recently launched offering for tokenized physical gold. Together, these form a complete digital asset offering for HSBC institutional clients. HSBC is working with the Swiss enterprise tech firm Metaco to use its institutional platform, Harmonize, as part of HSBC's new custody service for digital assets. Metaco's Harmonize solution helps unify security and management of digital asset operations. Zhu Kong Li, JASMY Scam, Chief Digital Data and Innovation Officer, Security Services, HSBC said, "We are seeing increasing demand for custody and fund administration of digital assets from asset managers and asset owners. As this market continues to evolve, through key partnerships, HSBC is delivering the next generation custody infrastructure that will be scalable and secure for asset services. There has never been a more important time to innovate, to collaborate, and to create change." How'd y'all like that? Was that pretty good?
That was
Adrian,
wonderful.
Adrian, probably some kind of an Italian name, CEO and founder of Metaco, said, said, I wish I had an Italian accent. I don't know how to do it.
Just try to talk like Mario from Super Mario Brothers or something. I'm kidding. That's such a bad note. Yeah, I'm kidding. That's not how people sound.
Yeah. Metaco is excited to be working with HSBC.
Wow.
Okay, I don't know.
That's all right. That's all right. I'm with you.
All right. Well, it's okay to have fun, right?
Yeah. No, of course it's okay. I'm with you. I'm with you.
As it continues to explore the applications of DLT in asset creation and custody. Custody infrastructure such as Metaco's Harmonize, which integrates with financial institutions' existing systems. Wow. That means, so what I get there is not a lot of startup, will be critical to how issuers and investors interact as capital markets and assets in general continue to be represented on distributed ledgers. John O'Neill, Global Head of Digital Asset Strategy Markets and Security Service, HSBC, said, I'm excited by the forthcoming launch of our new custody service for digital assets, which will complement HSBC Onion. I'm sorry. Might have too much fun. Y'all won't be able to pay attention. Our platform for issuing digital assets, as well as our recent launch. I shouldn't have taken that CBDC earlier. Anyway, for tokenized physical gold, these services underscore HSBC's commitment to the overall development of the digital asset markets. HSBC is one of the world's largest global custodians, covering more than 90 markets. CBD is what I meant to say. Lordy.
One thing I like to inject here just real quick is,
you're so serious.
No, well, I'm sorry. The main thing is,
what a straight man.
I've joked around many times. People see me do Mike Tyson impersonations, and
I know I'm teasing.
But what I was going to say is this bottom part from John O'Neill, where he says that he's excited about the forthcoming launch, all these new custody digital assets. I mean, come on, man. Issuing digital assets as well as their recent launch of tokenized physical gold. You know how long we've been waiting to hear this, and how long, other content creators have been talking about the whole notion of, this is all speculative. There's not going to be any real ties to gold, or, the BTC maxis out there saying, well, it's Bitcoin that is basically like digital gold. Now you're starting to see real assets with utility tied into this, Ripple, HSBC, Ripple with HSBC and Metaco tokenizing the actual gold.
And doesn't that kind of follow up with some rumors about the Singapore deposits of Ripple? Some of y'all heard about that, gold and silver deposits several years ago, and it looks like it got covered up. That is what it looks like. Then there was a rumor, a tweet released in 2023 that started all that over again. But I saw a show, one of my least favorite, but still has some good content, man, is the Hulk. And the Hulk went back on the Wayback Machine and dug up the old story. And it looked pretty legit what he was having on the show, showing that they do have deposits of gold and silver in Singapore. So when you bring that together and you talk about, how people have talked about Max having Ripple XRP being the world currency. I mean, God, it does make you scratch your head and go,
Well, world reserve currency. And then we talk about, even before the whole notion of 2009 with the Bitcoin white paper, right? Like the New York Federal Reserve having literally gold reserves. You ever seen like the movie Die Hard with a Vengeance? Love that movie, by the way. That's like my own personal favorite Die Hard movie. Was it Hans Gruber's, brother Simon Gruber? I mean, they're robbing all the country's gold billion, those big old bars all over the place, So, but to actually have this digitalized or tokenized and so on, it's no longer speculative anymore. You're literally seeing these are legitimate companies: HSBC, Metaco.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, we really got it going on now. This is really happening. I mean, this is happening. It's not just speculation. They're saying this about themselves instead of people saying it about them. So, yeah, they're getting ready. And, Guy, what a deal, man. Metaco for $250 million. Drop in the bucket for Ripple. A drop in the liquidity pool.
Right. We're also going to do now is jump into this next part before we kick it back into the comments. This is from Ledger Insights. It's from the one and only Papa, believe it or not, deciding to help out, even though he's not an XRP anymore. He's still a good guy. Shout out to him. So here it is from Mr. Crypto Holt's favorite place to cite, Ledger Insights, little known fact. Anyway, basically speaking, HSBC confirms plans for digital assets custody. Now we'll get more into the whole thing of gold and tokenization, but this was reported November 8th, which is yesterday. A lot of you guys were tagging a few of us, myself and so on, about this on X. Today, HSBC, or yesterday, confirmed its intention to launch, just like we were talking about, digital asset custody solution in 2024. Report last month it was hiring a staff. HSBC's offering will target institutional clients investing in tokenized securities. Right there, what one do we know would be like the biggest one? Your BlackRocks, your Vanguards, State Streets, you name it. But look what it says, but not cryptocurrency. Well, we know, it's a little bit different from this statement right here. The bank itself. Go ahead.
Yeah. Can I point out right there with you?
Okay.
Investing in tokenized securities, it's not a cryptocurrency, it's a token. So like a digital asset can represent, still have a cash transfer. It's still using the cryptocurrency. They're still using the cryptocurrency. They can't get away from it by tokenizing. They have to. The only thing they're drawing a distinction is they're not buying cryptocurrency as an investment. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally do. Yes.
That's what you totally said, wasn't it?
Well, it's okay. I mean, yesterday when we were talking about the JASMY coverage, it was the same type of concept that you see here, where it's guys who run, companies that run in the background, that basically utilize the functionality of some of these things, but they're not just coming out and buying the actual token. It's the platforms, it's the tech that runs in the background. Yeah. A little bit more about this. The bank is partnering with what Will Fix mentioned earlier, so I don't want to get into that. HSBC, one of the world's largest custodians, holding, look at this, guys, 9.1 trillion in custody at the end of 2022. I mean, if you think about that, I mean, if BlackRock's at $10 trillion in assets, then HSBC might very well be the number two. I mean, yeah, I think they are. So it says it sees the custody offering as it's complementing its other digital asset solutions, and this does include HSBC Orion, aka Onion, as Will Fix will put. That's okay. For bond tokenization and issuance.
Hey. So, something I want to say there too. Sometimes I'm slow in understanding, so if I overdo it, sorry. But
I don't care. That's fine.
Custody of 9.1 trillion. They're talking about bonds. They're talking about money. They're just holding. They're just holding it. And I heard Brad Gardinghouse say that they were putting this trust in them because they wanted to have a way to have custody that was safe. He's talking about all of that money right there. That's not just, that's not chump change right there. That's taking $9.1 trillion and putting into Ripple custody and storing it on the ledger. That's just like, that's not staying in the system for 3 seconds as it goes somewhere. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's a fair enough analogy. Yeah.
Moving $9 trillion. Hey, it's in there for 3 seconds. Holding $9.1 trillion. It's in there all the time. It's in there the whole time. So it's a put and take account. Some people are adding more, taking out. We're talking about bonds and securities here. They're talking about timed contracts they have to hang on to. I just wanted to make that distinction because that is how much more than the entire cryptocurrency market.
Yeah, and even at the height that we saw was like 3 trillion back in late 2021 at the height.
Yeah. This is a couple trillion shy of 10 times the amount of everything in Bitcoin, XRP, and all of them all together. That's just one move, one company, one set of transactions of that size. Just one bank. You see my point?
Yes.
This is one tiny aspect of the gigantic picture of all the institutions, banks, and blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, by the way, over here in this drawer, we have $9.1 trillion. We want y'all with Metaco. Would y'all convert that over for us and hold on to it? My God, man. Yeah, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of XRP price. If it's XRP, now this is Ripple, right?
Yes.
So,
correct. I mean, we'll get more further down into that.
Now, but Ripple doesn't have a way, from what I understand, to store things except with XRP. Am I right? They don't have a Ripple coin.
Correct. That's the significance of XRP.
Right. So it is XRP.
Yes.
If you see my point. All right.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to throw that in there. Sorry.
Because, I mean, here's the thing. Everybody reporting on it and all gung-ho about it. We reporting nothing but nothing burgers. Brad Garlinghouse going all ape, about this and so on. David Schwartz and all. I mean, it would be a giant nothing burger, but that's not the case at all. If anything, it helps leverage the particular asset that we hold. All right. Getting more into this.
You ever think David and Brad get together and just hit one man and sit around and freak out and go, we're like the dudes?
Probably at some point, maybe at the,
all right,
the last party that they had in New York or whatever. I'm sure at some point, Yeah. All right, let's see here. We are seeing increasing demand for custody and fund admission of digital assets from asset managers. Back to everything we're talking about with BlackRock, your Vanguards, you name it. Asset owners. This market continues to evolve, said Zhu Zheng Li, Chief Digital Data and Innovation Officer, Security Services over at HSBC.
Now you got to talk like him.
For some reason, when I do it, it always sounds Japanese, but I'll do my best. Through key partnerships, HSBC is delivering the next generation custody infrastructure that will be scalable and secure for asset services. There has never been a more important time to innovate, to collaborate, and to create change. If I can change, you can change, and Rocky Balboa can change. Following Metaco's acquisition, excuse me, kind of got me all messed up right there. Acquisition by Ripple, literally mentions it. In May, this is the first major new client announcement. Metaco's other banking clients, of course, include, ones not to bat an eye at, right? BBVA, BNP, Paribas, Security Services. Remember how we did this big old thing with Quant and Citi and all that? And I believe at some point when we get further down into, yep, I'm right. Look at this, guys. Regulated liability network. Remember how we tie that all in with quant, especially? But the bottom line is all these ones, your ripples, your quants, all this stuff works with the regulated liability network, right? With this Metaco services, go ahead.
Yeah, what you're getting ready to read, tokenized deposits. Deposits aren't, everybody was kind of wondering about what if it only stays in there 3 seconds? How's it going to keep the price up? Which I've covered that. It's not just going to be in there 3 seconds, but
we'll pull that up because you know what? I'm glad you bring that up because here it is about tokenized deposits. UK stablecoin consultation. Banks shouldn't issue one. Stick to tokenized deposits. Right. Not just one. There's going to be a few. And then here it is. Increasingly, tokenized deposits or deposit tokens are viewed as an alternative to, of course, stablecoins or retail CBDC, preserving, I should say, the two-tier banking system. Payments with tokenized deposits can be functionally more complex, of course, the stablecoins and even CBDCs. A little bit more about it. When someone pays using a bank token, there is additionally a movement in conventional money. Remember how you're saying in like the 3-second rule? That move to conventional money. Some countries, Korea, Brazil, there's a whole bunch of them, exploring wholesale CBDCs as an interbank settlement asset. Who's doing it as we speak? The Bank of International Settlements, Bank of England. The UK leads the charge when it comes to wholesale CBDCs. Are you ready? Established that numerous times. Banks are exploring various use cases. We know that, ranging from wholesale or interbank use to corporate applications. Corporate applications. Gee, I wonder what that could be. Like maybe the overledger, for instance, consumer payments. So, I mean, it's all there.
Yep.
All right. How about this? This one is, I believe, you, my friend, about HSBC tokenized gold. So you want to just go ahead and share it? That way it's easier for you to navigate through it.
All right. So yeah, here we are. HSBC tokenizes gold. Isn't that interesting? That's past.
Well, let me add to the stage. Hold on a second. You don't have it on the screen.
Oh, I thought I did.
There we go. That's right. There you go.
Didn't I have it on there? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, right. I hit share, but we didn't have, I got it. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. No worries. But look at that. Tokenizes gold. That's past tense. All right. Yep. Today, HSBC announced the first trades of gold tokens where the physical gold is stored at HSBC's London vault. This is everything starts in London, the big changes. Using distributed ledger technology, institutional clients create a digital twin of the physical asset, the token to be traded on the HSBC Evolve and the bank's digital platform for FX and precious metal execution. The platform helps customers to track the trades and the gold they own in a market where trading is over the counter. Gold bars that meet certain criteria can be automatically tokenized. This is not currently retail focused. It could potentially support fractional gold investment depending on the laws in the jurisdiction. Each token represents 0.001 troy ounce. HSBC is one of the world's largest precious metal custodians and one of just 4 clearers in the London market. HSBC didn't mention potential settlement benefits, but atomic settlement is one of the key advantages of DLT. Another is enabling greater mobility of collateral, but it's likely early days for that. In addition to demand of native digital assets, we are seeing an appetite for tokenization solutions that can maintain a link of specific real-world use cases, such as gold, said John O'Neill, Global Head of Digital Asset Strategy, Markets and Securities Services. HSBC O'Neill is also responsible for HSBC Orion, its DLT bond issuance platform. HSB is not the first bank to tokenize gold, but it's most certainly the largest. In January, Russia's biggest bank, SBER, I don't know how to say that, launched its digital gold offering. And in Japan, Mitsui Mitsui & Co. Commodities unveiled a retail-targeted offering based on the London Metal Exchange gold. Meanwhile, the World Gold Council and the London Bullion Market Association are deploying an enterprise blockchain solution to trace the supply chain source of gold bullion back to mines as part of an integrity program. Wow, that's really interesting. Something I want to say about that is currently the COMEX has they move silver and gold around inside COMEX and inside the London Exchange house. What is it called? LB bullions, whatever it is. They physically move it around and allocate different things. Think of how easy this is going to be when it's tokenized, because once it's tokenized and it's secured, unless it's stolen, it's there, and it's, you know what I'm saying? Once they go through and they log it, there it is, because now each one would be serialized, so to speak, digitized, serialized, and now they can, even though it's one stack of gold, the allocations can move around, trade, and it just becomes an environment where no people are involved walking around inside that space, which is where, they've lost gold and silver in the past. So it becomes a much more secure way of doing it. I mean, everything gets better when you tokenize some of these assets. And then look how fast you can trade it. There's people, when you buy SLV contracts and gold contracts, like option contracts, you have to have a certain type of account in order to take physical custody, and it is an issue to take physical custody. It's not just something that easily happens. That no longer becomes necessary because it's already fine where it's sitting. It just becomes an asset that you can digitally move around and move the secondary, what did they call it? The twin. You're moving the twin of it
digital
around.
Twins.
Yeah. You're moving the digital twin around. So I find tokenization so fascinating because you can have your cake and eat it too. If you own the Mona Lisa, you can tokenize 40% of it, have your money, and people can exchange their little piece amongst themselves, for more and less, and they can claim they own it. And then, the museum gets to still have it there on the wall too, because they own most of it. And it also becomes a way through spreading the ownership out of securing the idea that of how difficult it would be to purchase it. It's going to cause, that's a price driver, because there'll be people like, I'm not getting rid of my portion. So it increases the value of assets, is all I wanted to say about that.
It's a great point that you made. I mean, we could talk about tokenization of everything, but I mean, it's also assets that are more rare or or the ones that are more scarce. What about assets that are tokenized that don't have a big supply?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even talking about the ones that aren't physical assets, obviously BTC, QNT, BSV, some other ones, and so on. They don't have that big of supplies. So, as we speak right now, how many people do we know are trying to buy a sliver of, BTC? I mean, that exists all day long. I also feel that eventually, like with QNT, it'll be the same type of thing. I mean, and that one has way less supply compared to BTC. BSV, same type of thing. I mean, same tokenomics, but at least that one has some real utility compared to dinosaur technology of BTC with like 5 TPS. That's just like ridiculous. Anyway, we're gonna take a pause for a moment because we want to recognize you guys in the comments. I think I saw something else come across the screen. I gave Mr. Henry Brown a little heart. Let's also give McDizzle, Mike Cornwell one as well. Let's see what you guys have and then we'll get into that as well. Let me see. A lot of good comments from you guys. Let's just try to recognize some of these. So we have Henry Brown with another $2 super chat. He says, Mariachi, max time. Thank you so much, Mr. Henry Brown.
Henry Brown.
Yes,
sending
indeed.
in the cashola.
And we have, I want to welcome this guy from your side of the community. We Mr. G Ball. I won't say the last part. 2 a.m. Hopium, please. Well, welcome. Glad to have you here. I think Will said his name before. You know, you get where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Steve, Financial Freedom Channel. This is how I view Will and Max live. Thanks, man. We appreciate that. Tune in some of the other lives too. You know, for the most part, it's almost daily. We obviously talk about other ones that are tied to the ISOs, you know, your XLMs, your XDCs, your H bars. Heck, once in a while we talk about DAG and we talk about Algo. It's basically, we're a bunch of utility maxis. How about that? So yeah, Glitch in the Matrix, welcome. Glad to have you here. Cody Core, first original member, you and Todd Common Sense. Thanks for being here, Cody Core. XDC is going to stomp a new mud hole in BTC.
Yes.
Yeah. Welcome a couple more people. Chica333, homie rolling off the CBDC. XRP Maxi. I don't know what you're doing. I guess you're referencing Cool Cat.
Is that a cat farting?
A bunch of eggplants or something. That's interesting.
Those aren't eggplants.
Something like that. All right. Let's also read this. It's a $2 super chat from Crypto McDizzle. Thank you, Mr. Mike Cornwell, aka Elon Muff. Yep. Herb Rice, Crypto Hulk is a solid guy. He's onto something. He's a good investigator. He's a great researcher. I'll say that. It's just
man, he does.
Yeah,
he digs.
Yeah. We'll give him credit where credit's due. I mean, he's probably one of the best researchers. It's just the ego. That's about all it is. Anyway, April Cornwell's in the house. Saying hello to everybody. I know at some point you probably said, hey. Great to see April Cornwell. All right. What we're going to do now is just make sure that we didn't miss anything specifically. We'll get into some more comments. Robert Williams says, hi, Max and Will. Glad to have you, Mr. Robert Williams. Boom. Let's check out Will Fix's side of things. Will, I'm sure you have a tab up for your community. Would you like to get into some of those comments, sir?
I do. Let's see. We had some people come in since I saw him. What's up, Patrick? He was already here. Charles Costa. If I'm saying that right, we saw Humble Servant. Let's see. What's Steve saying? Morer Steve. Will sure did like that estimate of 59,000 the other day from your video. One of these days. Yeah. I put up, that was somebody else's estimate, and I can concur. The mistake that people make, just a comment right here, is when they say there's not that much money in the world, right? When they say, and even though they're wrong, let's say for a minute that can the price of XRP exceed the amount of money that's in the world? Okay, we're talking a question of possibility, right? Is it even possible? Yes. You know why? Supply and demand. Supply and demand can drive the price. It just has to be that the next sale of the next token is big enough to be multiplied times the amount of coins to exceed the amount of money in the world. It's a figurative amount anyway, just like a stock or anything else. So since the last one sold for that amount, they assume all the rest are worth that because that one sold for it. So it doesn't mean that much money's in the system. Anyway, just wanted to throw that out there. Will Max, what's up, fellas? What's up, Johnny Gucci?
Hey, what's up? Good to see you.
Yeah, man. 59,000. Let's go. We're praying. We're trusting the Lord. Johnny has in there 3 trusts. That's right. One for the Father, one for the Son, one for the Holy Ghost.
Yeah, amen to that. I am nothing
Fish
without
grease.
God in my
Sorry,
life.
I'm late.
That.
It's all right, Fish Grease.
I remember you, Fish Grease. I loved your name from last time.
Yeah, anyway, I remember your name. Very memorable. Herb Rice. XRP is exchange rate peg. I believe that it will be pegged to a price of gold. Question is, what rate? 1 ounce, 10 ounce, full standard bar gold? Yeah, it could be. I mean, that is a possibility. And the price of gold is not going to be what it's at right now. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Hey, you know
It's
what?
ridiculously low right now.
Hold on a second. You and I were on the phone one time, and you were talking about. I'm almost certain this is a conversation we had the other day about your analogy about gold, especially when it came to like bullion. But you were talking about driving forces of about, for instance, like if the dollar, there's not much demand for the dollar, what does that do for gold? What's it do for these particular
Yeah,
assets?
the inverse correlation.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah,
since we're on the subject, let's bring it up again. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, there's an inverse correlation with the dollar and gold. Dollar as the world reserve currency, slipping from that, but it still is. And everything that they measure is against the dollar. You know, how much is a yen worth? You know, they go to dollars, right? How much? Because you got to have something to compare it to. So because when the dollar goes down, all the other baskets of currencies go up. You have this, you know, the dollar goes down, this goes up. Well, here's what happens. Gold gets more expensive when the dollar goes down from dollars to gold. So gold has stayed the same value, but the dollars got worth less. So it takes more dollars to equal the gold. In other countries, when the dollar goes down, gold gets cheaper. So gold becomes that little stabilizer because everybody's buying into gold, and if they can get gold at a good rate, they do. So then that draws the money into the gold, see, because it just got cheaper, or should. A lot of times investors get that upside down. They buy when it's going up. Anyway, so gold becomes that, it becomes a standard, whether it's a gold-backed currency or not. It becomes a standard of value. And then the currencies are fluctuating. Well, XRP works exactly the same way. Digital currencies work the same way. There's a secondary thing that happens too. The dollar goes down. People in the FX markets, and they're pulling their money out of that because it's going down. So they want to put it in something else. So they're choosing cryptocurrencies, gold, silver. You know, some choose oil and some other commodities, but it's the pulling out of those funds and the imbalance of the funds that this sounds kind of counterintuitive, but those imbalances and those different things cause a stability. Well, XRP will be a benefactor of a decreasing value of the dollar. And you could say the increasing value of gold because it's the same thing. The aspect that's thrown in there, it's a little different though, is supply and demand is an extra added bonus, you know, to how the markets respond. And if y'all study gold and silver, especially silver, because nobody mines that on purpose. They mine it as an additional thing they're finding while they're getting something else.
Yeah, it's an accident. And that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like $17, $18 an ounce to get it. Well, it's only at $22 an ounce or something, 20 something dollars and $21 an ounce.
I remember Robert Kiyosaki just did a recent interview about a month ago talking about, he's like, I remember when this was like $35 for silver.
Yeah. Yeah, it's suppressed through the derivatives market. But anyway.
Would you like to get through a few more comments, or especially if it's any questions? And then from there, guys, we'll jump back into the rest of the coverage we have this next part, because I think we just finished about the whole thing. HSBC tokenizes gold, which is good stuff. But the next part, let me see. Pretty sure that's what it was. Yeah, you did that part. Will be from Lewis Jackson in regards to Uphold and XRP. And he recently posted this morning at 11 o'clock Mountain Time. So do you see any more specific ones, questions, and comments from your side? If not, I'll get into things.
Yeah, I'm looking at that Big Sky Cowboy. He wants to know what we think about Corium.
You know, I've always liked Corium. I understand it's part of ISO 222. I went in like maybe one video on it and so on. I honestly think, for a lot of this stuff, you're going to be more than good. I don't hold any. I did a Twitter space. By the way, guys, I think when it comes out to the Twitter spaces, it's just going to be, instead of like one set, like every Friday, it's not going to be like that. But anyway, we did a whole thing about sologenic also. We talked about supply and demand and how that will kick in and the significance of sologenic. And I think like there's 99% or 100% of that's in supply, but I think both projects are pretty good. Do you hold any Corium, Will?
No.
Okay. That's all right.
No, I'm holding, well, if I can name them, let's see. XRP, which is the most money. The most coin I own is XDC. Then I have the same amount of coin I got in XRP I have in XLM. And so I got the 3X, I call the 3Xs there. I have HBAR. I have Algorand. I have, let's see, Quant, JASMY, and I have some scatterings of some others through my 3 commas account, but that includes, some Bitcoin, some
Probably some Ethereum or something.
Cardano, Ethereum,
Okay.
a whole bunch of them just for trade movement.
No, I get it.
But that's
I hold Cardano too, but I don't really get excited about talking about it. It's probably gonna be one that I'm married to for many years, and that's okay. Not trying to float anybody's Cardano. Hey,
You think it's gonna do well?
Yeah, I do think it's gonna do well. It's just, I'll ask you this, all right? Like, there's probably only one content creator that I've ever been sub to who regularly covers Cardano. And to be honest, I think I forgot what that guy's name was, but he was a pretty cool guy, and he was very passionate about it. Always covered it like literally daily. I don't know, man. I mean, I know eventually you do fine. I always give credit where credit's due. I think Ajax, which is Singularity Net, is the biggest quality standout project. We were covering that since it was 4 cents. That thing went up over 70 cents. Anyway. All right. How about this? Do you have a few more questions or comments from your side? If not, I'm going to see what we have on ours. And then we're going to
if all you guys are loving this stuff, by the way, like and subscribe to our channels. That's, it always feels cheap to say so, but it's so fun to watch our numbers build. You don't get really much out of it, but when you get that out of it, it's like, because Max called me up today. He's like, hey man, so cool. This video, this many people subbed from that. So they really liked it, it's encouraging to us. We like it, but to ask you to do it kind of seems like it cheapens it, but we really don't care. You really don't care. It's like, just give us some subs, man. So
yeah,
if y'all can do that for us, that is fun on our side. It is fun for us to see that stuff. It means something,
Absolutely. I saw there another super chat came through. It is from Salamander. Let's see here. It is from Salamander. Let's pull it up for a second. Mr. Lambo's Crypto Talk is in the house. Good to see you. Stephen Whitfield, if I pronounced that right. Herb Rice, I am an X-ray tech, and X means unknown quantity, and our field makes you wonder. Oh, Interesting. All right, Corbin, welcome. Glad to have you here. He says you own 60 different cryptocurrencies. Wow, nice. Texas Crypto, Caspo ranked 30th on CoinMarketCap. Hit hit all-time highs, right? The last few days. I don't know if it's still doing it. That's a very big deal. Shout out to any of you guys who obviously hold it. Digital Twin, they're trying to copy BSV according to Cool Cat Crypto. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna use that as a bookmark, and let's see what we have over on the Maximus Crypto side of things. Oh, that's right. I was trying to get to the super chat from Salamander. There it is. Super sticker, $2 super sticker. I did see it on the other screen. It is some kind of character. He's like yellow, and there's like some kind of I don't know what that thing is. Like he's got a pet. He's like Superman or something like that. Well, thanks, Salamander. Appreciate you, man. And let's see here. BCK Barbershop. Thank you guys for all the info you give. Thoughts of Paris salute. Thanks so much, man. It's nice to obviously be appreciated. We do appreciate you, sir. All right, let's just read a couple more. Steve S. They are selling tokenized securities for AMC. They were supposed to be back 1-for-1. There was over 2 billion tokenized securities. AMC float was only 250 million. Tokenized securities is a scam. It's a scam. Well, I'll tell you this much. I do hold, for instance, AMC stock. I don't own a lot of stocks. That is one I do own. I own some other ones from like in the healthcare industry. But it's interesting. All right.
That may have been a scam, but I don't think the idea is a scam.
Idea scam. Okay. Big Sky Cowboy. Silver was almost $50 in 1980 and also early 2000s. Yeah, I was just referencing what, Mr. Rich Dad, Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki was talking about in regards to, it wasn't really all that long ago, silver $35. So, I mean, even right now, it's technically a buy. Big Sky Cowboy, love you guys' discussions. Thanks, man. We've had other people on here as well. You probably start seeing some of those guys like Rue Black we've had on here before. We had Satoshi. Actually, I shouldn't say Satoshi's been on here. I've been a guest on his, but I'm glad you guys like this content. We'll read one more comment. We'll kick it back to, or two more, to the outline. Terrence Johnson, all markets are manipulated. That's why the price predictions you are looking for may never happen anytime soon. All right. Boomer F and Sooners got a comment. $300 to $400 for silver would be nice. I'll take it. Very cool. And Richard Flair, if I pronounce that right, Flyerman, I have a little X-Core. Cool, man. All right. What we're going to do now is jump back to the remaining content that we have tonight.
No, look here.
Okay.
Terrence Johnson says XRP is not really needed. Ripple says it in their white paper. Well, concerning what? Concerning Ripple's ability to transfer digital tokens? True, they don't have to have XRP. But they're pretty interested in it since they have, 40-something% of it all? I mean, they're very, very interested in it. And they do own it. So is it necessary? No, the other stuff can run on the Ripple network. So it's not necessary in that matter. But that's not saying XRP is unnecessary. I mean, if so, then there's trillions of dollars that have just hooked up with XRP, over the last few years and are planning to use it. I mean, that would be a game of foolery. And let's see, Bitcoin is king and everything else will follow. For a time period, Bitcoin is a leader in the market. I have to agree. Will it stay that way? I don't think so. It doesn't have enough usefulness. And everybody's eyes and attention is going to go to the usefulness of utility coins and the brand new millionaires that were made. Tons of them. Because the entire world is going to the new digital currencies that are ISO compliant, and Bitcoin's not one of those. So Bitcoin will be old news one day. So it's hard to imagine that now, but it will be. It'll be a store of value that will fluctuate for what reason? We don't even know.
And Will's talking about BTC, guys. He's not referring to BSV. So anyway.
Oh, I thought he said BTC, Bitcoin.
I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not reading that comment at the moment. I'm trying to kind of multitask here.
Yeah, you're trying to get away from it because it feels like we're walking through a minefield.
No, it's okay. I mean, different thoughts
Bitcoin,
or opinions.
BTC, BSV is a whole different idea.
All I'm saying is different thoughts or opinions are always welcome here. Like we always say, attack the argument. Just don't attack the person. I mean, being rude is one thing. Yeah. I want to share you guys this real quick.
I hope I wasn't. If I seemed
no,
rude,
I wasn't saying you. No. Yeah, I wasn't saying you at all. But there's this post that Construction Trader that ETH posted. I think it was like the other day. Talks about, for instance, shoot, I lost it. So many new posts. Anyway, I'll pull it up a little bit later. But anyway, we're gonna jump back into the last bit of our XRP coverage, guys, because we're just trying to have a good balance. And so I'll just double check both screens. I guess we missed another one, so my bad. Let me pull that up, Mr. Salamander. Sorry about that. We have another super sticker from Salamander, $2 super sticker. Thank you so much, my friend. And it is another. This is GG. It's like a gaming controller. Thank you for that, man. We'll read this question real quick because we don't want to go way too late. Maybe you already answered this, Will. It's from Alan. Question: if an asset is put on the ledger as a token for a value of, say, 1 million, what would be the transaction on the ledger? Would it be the same value in XRP tokens moved to that asset?
As I see it, when money enters XRP, the money is entering on the ledger. There has to be divisible coins for that money on the ledger. Even in a smart contract, if you make they're not going to make a smart contract that is a new token worth more and therefore bypass the entire system of how it's generated, because that would be an anti liquidity and an anti price. That'd be anti everything when you're building a company. You want, if you own XRP and you're running the company, you want the price to be affected. And again, the price of XRP is going to be purposefully manipulated by XRP as a form of creating balance through buying their own tokens. They've openly said they'll buy their own tokens when necessary. They'll buy XRP straight off the market. They'll add coins if if that was necessary, but that's not something they want to do. When they adjust the price of XRP, it will be to accommodate the largest amount of money that could come through at a given moment based on previous numbers, and then plus some just in case. That's how you would handle liquidity. You wouldn't let it ride right on the edge of, now the price is, doing this. You just make the price this. Leave it that way. You're not going to be going, 3 seconds in, this money was there, 3 seconds out, it's all over the place, and nobody'd want to use it. So they're smart enough to stabilize it above the maximum need that could possibly be there. So when this thing's being utilized, it's going to be stable. Otherwise, it's ridiculous. I don't think they've made something that's going to be ridiculous. I think they've thought about it. So what was that original question? So they're not gonna, question is, an asset is put on the ledger as a token with a value of 1 million. Yeah, I think it'll be broken down, not into where that's a token, but where that it is the representative of that many XRP tokens of the current value at the time. And they'll just be contracted with whatever the additional need of the asset would be. In other words, if you're putting that in one contract, then it would be XRP's worth this much per 0.001 of a troy ounce. So this is how many tokens represent this 100 ounce bar, or this 1,000 ounce bar. So it'll be figured by the value and then multiplied towards the token to keep the integrity of the system. Otherwise, wouldn't you feel cheated? I mean, then all the banks would say, well, let's just do that. And then everything would just be one big fat token going through there that,
well, guys, I mean, if anything, this is why we have standards, right? Yeah. Honestly, that should be your main takeaway. If you're wondering about the significance of standards, this is why we have just that, standards. And that's why they're in place for basically what Will Fix was talking about. Because otherwise, talking about getting ripped off. You would totally get ripped off. And
Oh, man.
then all that would do is light a fire under people like Gensler and so on. They would actually finally have a legitimate reason to come after the particular companies that supply these assets and so on.
Everybody would cash out and it would collapse. They'd be like, yeah, they're ripping us off. This don't mean anything. Liquidity would vanish and the world economy would go away. You know?
Yeah, I mean, on-demand liquidity. It'd be like, this is a joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That would be very devastating. So I don't think they'll have it. I think when a question has such a gigantic negative impact possible answer, we can pretty much guess they've thought about that, and that's not going to happen. I mean, it's possible, you know, you've thought of something that they hadn't thought about and that they're not planned for, you know, but I would venture to say when they get their brains together that gets squeezed out of one of them.
Sometime I'm not on air, I'll have to tell you a little story, Will. Something I thought about that you know, I was thinking that nobody else has thought about, you know what I mean? And I missed it by 3 months. I'll tell you later.
Oh, man.
Yeah. 3 months.
I invented the automatic guitar tuner before it ever came out. The one that stops when it's in pitch.
Interesting. It was also interesting when you told me all those stories about Eddie Van Halen and all the cool things that he basically, like, I guess you could say, invented. Like the one you're telling me about with the wax. Yeah, that was cool. Anyway, shout out to Eddie Van Halen, one of the greatest, if not the greatest guitarist ever. All right, let's get back into what we have. I'm just going to double check, make sure we're at the right spot. We are. So we're going to now jump into this, which is from Lewis Jackson. A lot of you guys are subscribed to him and so on. The content creator formerly known as Crypto Lulu. Here it is. And Mr. Lewis Jackson has this. It's about this whole thing of XRP and Uphold and so on. So he states, this is huge XRP news. Now, he posted this morning. So some of you guys are retweet this and so on, or where you want to call it. When are we going to stop saying retweet? Repost, right? That's the new terminology, by the way, if you use X. So Uphold posted this, and basically speaking, I'll blow this up a little bit more so you can see it. If you're wondering what that scratchy sound is, it just, you know, maybe Will forgot to put his towel on. That's okay. But it's this right here. It says Topper, which is part of Uphold, by the way, is proud to announce. Let me double check. You can see on the screen. Yeah, you can. Nice and big. Proud to announce their partnership with XRP Toolkit, providing access to XRP and other assets available on the, of course, XRP ledger. Now, XRP Toolkit, created by Toho Labs, enables users to connect their self-custodial wallets and interact with the XRP ledger directly. Now, this is where I want to stop here for a second and just elaborate on this. So Will and I, shout to Mike Cornwell, Henry Brown, all the other guys have been retweeting all this info about Hsbc, tokenization of gold, all these things. That's super cool. But the timing of this is really, really convenient, because when you talk about self-custodial wallets, and we're talking about all this stuff about the tokenization of gold, I mean, come on, guys. Supply and demand. And meeting the demands of current things that just came out in regards to news, the whole shebang. I'm telling you, they're preparing us for this new shift. Uphold, like it says on the bottom part, has been a staunch supporter of the XRP ecosystem. Yeah, of course they have. You know, they've had the XRP armies back from the beginning, which is really, really cool. I mean, Coinbase could have done this. They never did that, right? Shout out to Uphold, right? But anyway, they have been a supporter of that ecosystem, and they're thrilled to be further integrated, offering users additional means to buy and manage XRP and additional XRP ledger assets. So it's not just saying, hey, we're going with XRP. They're going with everything for the most part, ones that stand out. That was pretty cool to share that. The next part I want to get into is this. This actually is, I saw it posted the other day from His name is Ted of Lift Capital. So shout out to Ted, great content creator. A lot of you guys watch Ted over at Lift Capital. He always covers XDC. He covers everything with utility. Great guy. Ted did release this report yesterday. A lot of people did. In regards to Banker International Settlements, this new 2023 report. And like it says, will the real stablecoin please stand up? Please stand up. World Bank approves only 2 stablecoins. Now that part, that was shared earlier on the year. We shared that pamphlet, brochure, what do you want to call it? But yes, that's a great reference. World Bank does approve only 2 stablecoins for cross-border payments. We have shown you that particular part of that PDF/pamphlet in the past. You can look it up for yourself. You can do a Google search. You can see it in that particular pamphlet. But this is a new one from the BIS. So what does it say? Let's jump over to this. It's magnified for you. You see here that right from that BIS report, stable coins for cross-border payment. I think Mike Cornwell shared this also on Facebook, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this one is from Facebook. So thank you to Mike Cornwell. Stable coins for cross-border payment. It even points to it right here. Like it says, stable coins refer to a class of digital currencies that are, relatively stable in terms of their price. But here's the key thing for you guys. Not all stable coins are at 1 to the US dollar, as it just being $1. Look what it states here from the BIS. States 2 digital currencies that fall into this category as far as being stable with respect to their parity against fiat currencies are RippleNet's native digital currency, Ripple's XRP, and Stellar Network's native cryptocurrency, Stellar Lumens XLM. Both Ripple and Stellar enable faster and more efficient cross-border payments relative to correspondent banking. Very, very interesting. And if you want to get more into it and so on, you definitely can. Talks about how they do a breakdown of little slivers of the transactions, and also talks about, for instance, how it decreases the supply of XRP over time. In theory, it still maintains its value, and Stellar basically has half the supply of XRP. But anyway, I mean, come on, guys. Now it's not just the World Bank. The BIS has it in the report. How much longer is it going to take for people to be more on board with it? I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not trying to convince anybody. I'm just pointing some things out. Obviously, Will Fix is pointing things out. Other members of the community pointing some of this out as well. Back to you, Will.
Yeah, it's just how we come to our conclusions. We all make up our own endings to other coins, our own beginnings and successes of other coins. And we all try to do that based on what we think is the relative information at the time. That's why people come up with different conclusions. So who's right, who's wrong, we don't know. That's why we're trying to speculate this thing. But it does appear Ripple, XRP, and several of these others, through all of the meetings and all the huge signing institutions and things, I mean, we can derive to some conclusions there. All the growth factors, all of the systems, and then like as far as Bitcoin, then you move over to Bitcoin. Well, nobody's in charge of Bitcoin. Nobody's doing anything with it. It's just a running program that people have been pumping money into. It's hard for that to develop into something because of that. So it is what it's going to be right now. And that's, with all this other stuff happening, I just feel like that kind of stuff gets left behind eventually. I don't see it. I see it growing till they max out of the coin, then going to the moon, and then there's going to be some life left as the volatility makes more millionaires and kills other ones, so there'll be some volatility there. And then over time with utility coins going, I just think it'll be just forgotten about, not hated on. It'll just be unimportant one day. But that's my conclusions.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
You don't have to. Nobody needs to agree to that.
Yeah, it's all good. We all have different points of view.
Yeah.
Let's welcome Blackwood and Ian. See you there, man. Good to see you, Blackwood.
What's up, sir? I always think of Snoop Dogg when I see it, 'cause that dog looks stoned.
You know what? That's funny because I used to always think of Snoop. It's because of that old video he has of Gin and Juice, I guess it is, where he transforms into the dog. Or actually, the song "Who Am I? What's My Name?" Actually, when he transforms into the dog, he transforms actually into like I think a Doberman Pinscher. For the record, my dad was never a fan of a Doberman Pinscher. Nothing against my dad. Anyway.
That could be a dachshund there. It looks like a dachshund.
Dachshund?
Dachshund.
I have nothing against Doberman Pinschers, but anyway. Crypto Medizzle. XRP will be the standard into which you buy into. Right. Purpose of standards. They're important. You know, like even with Quant, Gilbert Verdian literally wrote the standard. ISO TC 307. Anyway. You're always going to talk about Quant, huh, Max? Yes, I'm always going to talk about Quant. I'm going to talk about all this stuff, though. Terrence Johnson says the liquidity in crypto is low due to the markets being so young. That's a good point. I agree with you on that. Steve S. The Rothschilds run everything, all corrupt, all scam. All right, let's see here. I don't remember typing this. Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. You're a manager. Duh. Okay. That's why I came across. Okay, and that makes sense. The same thing. All right. I was like, I didn't type that. What's going on here? All right. Let's see here. What do you guys think about BlackRock buying ETH for the ETH ETF? I wasn't even aware of that yet. I had to catch up on that. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you can only read so much every day or be active and so on. But I had to catch up on that. Were you aware of that, Mr. Fix?
No, not really, but I have the feeling most of the time in ETF you can short. You know, you can buy calls and puts on. One of the advantages of them creating ETFs based off of other things that you can't do that with. But then he asked a question. I don't know. Can you not buy options on a spot ETF?
I don't see.
I really don't know. Most of the ETFs I've ever messed with, I could. I don't know if there's something different about a spot ETF. That's how those markets get so manipulated. It's tiresome. They do it with silver all the time through the buying of calls and puts, through the JP Morgan and the other. It's like 4 banks that just pass off who's going to short and who's going to go long, and then they trade the positions a few months later and make a bunch of money, suppressing the asset the whole time.
That's true.
That's what big money does. When you can move a market, if you could move XRP by 5 cents today by purchasing, and then you could short that same XRP and then dump it, wouldn't you? Most people would. You can move the entire market both directions, where you can buy calls and puts and make money both ways. And as far as I know, that's not illegal. That is something I hate about the derivatives market. Kind of ruins things a little bit.
It's a double-edged sword if you really think about it. We were so blown away with the derivatives market, the potential with that. You know, like that little. I think it's the first show I did with you. Maybe the second show. Remember that? How you show that example? This huge, giant tower with all those little boxes in it.
Yeah.
Like here's the derivatives market. It's like,
it was pages long.
Yeah. Well, what was it into the trillions? Maybe it was higher into that. I can't remember. It
was over a quadrillion.
Yeah, there you go. So it's this insane, huge market. But back to what you just said previously, like a minute ago, and that is, it's like, we love it, but we at the same time we hate it. You know, that is double-edged sword. That's catch-22. All right. Let's read this from Alan. You got some good comments tonight, Alan. By the way, welcome, Alan. Everybody, welcome any newcomers you see. Maybe you've been here before, but welcome anybody that you see as new guys. We do appreciate it. Alan says, cool. So every trillion in real world value will need an XRP to buy if 1 trillion and then transfer the asset token at a 1-1 ratio. Let's bring that into real estate. Good point. Hong Kong is already on its way.
Bring Bring what into real estate? Well, they are doing real estate.
I'll leave it up on there if you want to see it again.
Let's see. So every trillion in real world value will need an XRP buy if 1 trillion. We'll need an XRP buy if 1 trillion, and then transfer the asset token at a 1-to-1 ratio. Let's bring in that real estate. Hong Kong is already on its way. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're talking about Hong Kong real estate being tokenized? Is that what he's meaning there?
Well, yeah, I mean, could mean that, but we could also talk about the report from yesterday in regards to, like, for instance, Dubai, the tokenization in regards to Dubai. And I mean, and the other thing that well, we actually did on Tuesday, and then we did the chopped up version on your channel, XRP with Kuwait, right? That was a big deal too.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. So you responded to some of these guys, which is cool. Let's go further down. Let's see here. Steve S. They were short that ETF 1,000% or 10,000% to keep it down, or what they want it to, and the SEC won't even look at it. SEC and FINRA get paid by the market makers for every transaction they do. Here's the thing in regards to SEC and some of these deadlines, right? So there's some that seem like it's the deadline for this month, but in reality, that there's final deadlines too. Some of those are in January, most are in March. There's about 7 or 8 ETFs that have a final deadline in March. So for me, I like, my thing is put more attention on the ones that have a final deadline, but whatever the case be, once the final deadlines are just that, the final freaking deadlines, what is that going to do for the overall market? I mean, right now, as we speak, just pulling it up on the surface, if you guys, I'm sure you've been to like CMC and other outlets, right? Your coin geckos and so on. Let me just pull this up. You will see here that we're now at 41 trillion. We are at that part of the fear and greed index at a 77. If it goes one tick over, we'll be at extreme greed. Last time I saw extreme greed, it was an actual bull market. Right? Some people still feel as though we're going to fake out. Hey, we can agree to disagree, okay? But my thing is, the spot ETF deadlines, final deadlines. If we're seeing this right now at 1.41 trillion, what's going to happen when we have even just 3 or 4 of these are finally done? Let alone this grocery list of ETFs that we have coming up and so on. That in itself, I mean, you'll see FOMO too, but I mean, I think I mentioned this maybe yesterday to some of you guys, and that is, like, I was talking about JASMY. I said, all of us should obviously do more of our own research with anything, right? No kidding. But like tokens like JASMY, even if a person didn't do any research at all, BTC, for instance, let's say it did go to new all-time highs, which, previous was 69K. Let's say, for instance, some of these guys like Michael Saylor and some, numerous other people with their crazy predictions over 100,000 a BTC, 100,000 BTC combined with a new all-times for Ethereum, well over, for instance, 5K. What do you think that will do for JASMY? That in itself right there, you wouldn't even have to do much of your own research to realize that right there is like, yeah, that's to the moon as well. How about all the other ones that are alts that are tied to running correlation with BTC and ETH? I mean, there's a few. All I'm saying is we're going to be more than good on some of these particular ones. Let me hit this real quick. Look at this for a second. I mean, even Ethereum Classic, I don't hold any of this, right? But I mean, Will Fix, for instance, has an ASIC miner. It's specifically designed for, Caspa. I mean, I know that, you got to send it to do some kind of thing.
Yeah, it's in Hong Kong right now.
Yeah, I know you're probably like killing yourself right now. It's like, dang, man, because Caspa's at new all-time highs. But look at this, guys. I mean, look at how many things are in the green on the 7-day chart. Do you see any reds? Look at this. I'm just going through. This is a 7-day chart on almost everything. Look at this. One red Filecoin. Oh man, my Filecoin. Actually, that's not my Filecoin. This is Tether Gold. My bad. Read that wrong. Pax Gold, a little bit down. Right. So if anything, look at this, guys. Remember what Will Fix was talking about in regards to the dollar, and then also that analogy you used earlier in regards to gold. Doesn't this pound home more about what you're talking about? Because these are supposed to be pegged to gold. Tether Gold, Pax Gold. Look at this. They're the only ones that are kind of in the red a little bit. Stable coins. Let me slightly down, right? No big deal. Anyway, just thought I'd point some of that out because it is interesting. But yeah, 1.41 trillion. And on that greed index at 77, and one more tick over would be into extreme greed. All right, guys, we're going to read the last bit of comments that we have here before we're about to wrap things up here in a bit. It's not going to be a super long show tonight. Let's see here. Oh, that report, Terrence, just came out today. I believe you. All right. Well, how about this, Will? You want to read the last bit of comments from your side if there's any?
Sure.
Okay.
Bam. Let's see. Yeah, Big Sky Cowboy.
Actually, I'll just read this real quick from Corbin since I clicked on it. I don't want him to feel bad. Like, hey, man, you clicked on it. And you didn't read. Corbin, how does Bitcoin work with no team behind it, no number to call? For the same reason it has been working for, I don't know, I guess many years now. I mean, technically, there's people behind it developing or doing the whole thing with BTC. I get where you're coming from in that regard. But I think he's referring to your comment earlier, Will. You made probably like half an hour ago, something like that, 45 minutes ago.
I'm sorry, what did you say? I was reading some comments.
So, yeah, that's all right. About a half an hour ago or so, you made a comment about there's no team behind BTC. Basically, what I think what he's referring to is like, you're referring to like people, like actual, like seeing the people behind it, right?
There's nobody in charge. Who's in charge of Bitcoin? Who's planning and spreading its utility? People, everybody except Bitcoin has to do that. In other words, we would have to take our own company and say, we're going to make it where we can accept Bitcoin, right? Who's working for, is anybody working for Bitcoin? Do you know, Max?
Well, I could kind of give an example of what you just said, though. So there's BitPoint, especially in Japan. And what's his name? Genki Oda, who he's part of the Japanese version of the SEC. They call it FSA. So he was in charge of taking that and then, blanketing Japan with all these Bitcoin ATMs. And then on the ATM, it says BitPoint for BTC. But that's a different example.
Well, yeah, there was a secondary motivation with the fees involved. So somebody else can create something for Bitcoin, but it's not like they have a team like, Ripple running around the world, creating deals, making all kinds of things, tweaking the system, doing all that. It's pretty much, it's its own running thing. That's one of the major draws to it for a lot of people. Nobody's in charge.
And this is why we state that it kind of feels like a meme coin.
Yeah.
To a sense. BTC we're talking about.
Yeah.
Not BSV. Anyway.
Yeah, BSV is everything that Bitcoin is not.
Or should be.
Yeah, what it needs to be to catch up, BSV already is.
And I guess some people, they think that BSV is crap and so on. My thing is this. Even if you don't believe that Craig Wright, Satoshi Nakamoto, just take that aside. I mean, come on, man. Even on previous reports of 100,000 TPS, or, like I was wrong, it's not even a million, it can't just scale up to 1 million TPS. I got to look more into the whole thing of, billions or trillions. But I mean, even if that wasn't the case, let's just say it was flat out 100,000 TPS. That basically means it is 100,000 times. I didn't say that right. Yeah, I actually did say that. 100,000 times faster, roughly, than Ripple's XRP. Ripple's XRP is 1,500 TPS. How about Hedera? Hedera is supposed to be what, like 28,000 TPS or something like that? I mean, that's still pretty impressive. I mean, technically speaking, some people are going to point out the banks only need so much TPS, but hey, man, the fast, as the saying goes, the faster the better sometimes. Not always. Solana does, it's a lot faster than Ethereum and so on, but their network goes down. We've seen those reports, but I don't know. That's just the way I look at it. Even if this guy wasn't who he says he is, there's no denying the utility. There's no denying the speed. So that has to be worth something. And then not only that, like the supply, you know, it's scarce. My thing is this: for every person who's here or any other channel, you're going to tell me that you're not going to take a chance on BSV, but on the other side of it, without making it public, because maybe you feel as though that, you know, I just don't want people making fun of me in the comments or whatever the case be, you will invest in meme coins. That's what gets me. It's like you'll take a chance on some crap coin, but you won't take a chance on the what if. Now, we do talk about Hopium. Will Fix is proud to talk about Hopium. He embraces it, right? We won't take a chance on BSV. So that's my thing. It's like I don't really invest in meme tokens anymore. Yes, I still hold quite a few. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, I did take a chance on BSV because it's the hope that, you know what, this could be a big thing. I'm comfortable with it. I'm more comfortable of taking my, I guess you could say, my gamble or whatever you want to call it, that would normally put into meme coins and put it into something like that. But anyway, teach his own.
I'm not down on Bitcoin. I own some. I think it's going to go way up in price. I just think it might be that its days are numbered.
When you say you own Bitcoin, do you have slivers or do you have like an actual Bitcoin, like a BTC?
I don't have an entire coin, no.
Yeah, I never had a single one. But I had like, I don't know, I guess you could say a chunk of it at some point in 2016. And then I just held it there, was, you know, for a while until 2021. Then I used, you know, I was like, oh, okay, cool. I got some money to throw into whatever else.
If I sold all of my coin, I could buy a couple Bitcoin, but I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's no.
Nah.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. We got a few good comments. Blackwood, hopefully East gets, what's that? Surpassed or something, or
Usurped.
It's a word I don't see every day. By 2030. All right. Steve S. That's how the SEC, you know, every transaction they do, they get paid 0.007 of every share. They sell naked shares too. Richie Rich, anyone hold Compete token? I'm excited to see. I don't even know what that is. Interesting.
I never heard of it.
Add them up to 930. Cool. Awesome. Cool cat. That's great, man.
Awesome.
I'll just read a few more comments and they're going to wrap things up here in a bit. Richie Rich is in the house. Good to see you. Richie Rich. Joy
From
says,
the channel?
What?
Does Richie Rich have a channel?
I don't think so.
Oh, it's not that rich.
You mean Rich of Common Sense Crypto?
Yeah.
You think he would ever type in the comments? Heck no.
Why not?
I sent him DMs. He never DMs me back, but at least he retweets Mike Cornwell stuff. So anyway, then he interacts with Mike. It's all right. I have nothing against Rich. I love his content. It's just that I don't know. He doesn't really reply to anybody. Joy, read through some of Vanguard's Bitcoin filing, and it looks like it may be an index of the 4 Bitcoins. That's interesting. All right, another one. Steve S. HSBC are going.
Hey,
go ahead.
Real quick.
What's up?
I don't know what Joy is referring to, but I'd like to look at that because you remember the hopeful conspiracy that some people have about actually BSV being involved in some kind of way.
Sure.
So if it makes an ambiguous reference, I wonder what that ambiguous reference looks like.
Well, there
may
is
be an
BS,
index of the 4 Bitcoins. Does it Joy, if you're still on, does it specifically name them?
There is BSV ETS. I think it was Mike Cornwell or somebody else like showed that
Really?
like last week. Yes.
Oh,
I don't know if I might still have it saved. My thing is, I'll try, I wish I could just pull things up quickly on Twitter. I need to bookmark stuff instead of just, you know, retweet, because if you bookmark things, then you can just go right back to it. But I don't know if Mike has it handy, but yeah, it shows a detailed report about that. Maybe I just do a Google search real quick. I'm trying to see if I could pull that up. Man. And of course I can't. Here it is. I think it's from Motley Fool, actually. Yeah, here it is from Motley Fool. This is just one example. Let's pull this up for a second. Thank you, Joy, for your info, though. Let me take out that. Oh man, my screen is going buck wild right now. Hold on, man. Am I lagging real bad? Like something's.
you are a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. So I'm gonna pull myself off for a second.
What's that?
Am I still having a weird lag?
No.
All right, cool. I'll fix that. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so this is what I'm going to show you. This is just an example. This is not the exact thing that Mike Cornwell had, but this is pretty cool. So this is from the Motley Fool. I'm not saying that they're like the end-all, be-all source for everything, but what you'll see here is this. Vanguard Bond Index Funds, Vanguard Short-Term Bond ETF, and then look right here, New York Stock Exchange, MKT, BSV. So there's those examples. And we point this out. I don't know. I don't know if it was like a week or two ago. I can't remember.
Yeah, that says BSV up there.
Yeah. See? Right here.
Let's scroll down just a little bit more. It had.
Okay. Shoot, I'm getting that lag again. I don't know what's going on. Crap. I'm getting a bad connection. We might have to just end the show.
You need going to get you a second 56K modem.
Yeah, I need to get it like a 28.8. Oh my gosh, this thing's going crazy. Shoot. Well, we're towards the end of the show. I don't know what's causing that, guys. Sorry about that. But it is interesting. At least you got to see that for a second, right? Well,
yes, sir.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. Steve S. HSBC are going bankrupt. They don't have the liquidity for all the naked shorts and tokenized securities they've been selling. They are backed by nothing, and now they are trying to say we have gold back. That's scary. That reminds me of like everybody that's talking about Tether. And that's a different perspective as well. I mean, that would create a black swan event. That would be bad. All right, Cool Cat Crypto. No Bitcoin ETF before January 15th, 2024. Guarantee it. All right. Where do you see the JASMY price be? At least a minimum of $1. Not financial advice. By sometime in 2025. Could happen in 2024. It just depends. And, you know, I could be wrong on all this stuff. I don't really like doing price predictions because people kind of hold you to it. If you're wrong, then everybody wants to point the finger and blame somebody. If you're right, then I don't know. You kind of have it's kind of like one of those things. I'd rather just be the guy that provides research and so on. But then again, I'm the same guy that also talks about 100,000 QNTs. So I guess I'm a hypocrite. All right. All right. So we're just gonna read just a couple more comments, and then we're gonna end things because otherwise we're going to be here too long, and we do need to kind of wrap things up. Dennis Salil says, what is the easiest exchange to get BSV? I sent we'll fix this thing that Satoshi was talking about. So I haven't had a chance to get it off there, but if you subscribe to Satoshi, shout out to him. He mentions this one particular one, which is called buybsv.live. He always shares it all the time. I haven't used it, but I mean, you got to keep in mind this guy's channel is all focused on BSV all the time, so that makes me wonder. You could check that out. If you're outside the United States, I would say KuCoin. I mean, that's where I used to get them all. I think you can still get on MEXC. You could get on Ishmart, Bitmart. There's some other ones. Just go to CMC, type in BSV, click on markets. It tells you everywhere to get it. As far as the easiest ones, again, if you're outside the United States, I would definitely go with KuCoin. Really easy to get off there. All right.
I don't know. You'd have to do a VPN, wouldn't you?
Not if you're outside the United States, though. A lot of these guys are outside the United States. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. BSV has suffered numerous 51% attacks. Okay. Interesting. Blackwood, he says he finds it strange that very few exchanges hold BSV. It's almost as if they don't want people to buy it. Yeah, and that's a good point. That creates even that much more scarcity if you think about it. Demand for the asset. You make it creates makes it rare, which is kind of scarce. Tim Shea agrees with Blackwood. He says, for instance, Coinbase just delisted. That's true. We share that I think earlier this week or last week. And they give people a deadline. It's sometime I believe in January. And if you don't do it, basically, they will trade it for you to a different asset at the market value. And it kind of sucks for you because, to a sense, it's kind of like theft from that perspective. I mean, it's like, what the heck do they do with it? You know what I mean? All right. Yeah. You have to use a VPN. Can't buy in the US. That's true. All right. Buy BSV Live. So you did what Satoshi recommended, Tim Shea. That's cool. Did you have any hiccups when you used that site, Tim Shea? I don't know if you got time to, post that. Maybe you left. All right. Good night to Gerald. He says, thanks, Max and Will. Thanks, Gerald. Probably gone by now. Good night. All right. And you guys are having a conversation with each other for the most part. We're just going to see if you guys got anything towards us. And we're just going to move it. Hold on a second. Cool Cat Crypto. BSV is a poop coin. It would be on every exchange and being pushed hard with the rest of the poop coins. That's a great perspective. Even one of the BSV 51% attacks has been successful and was easily beaten. So easy to beat a 51% attack attempt. I tried BSV Live. It doesn't work for you. Oh, interesting. All right. How to use Exodus. Okay. Well, guys, it's been a good show. I'll give the last word to the great Will Fix.
Woo! Yes. It was good to see everybody here. A lot of people. We had a pretty good amount of people. It's fluctuated, and it's enjoyable to see all the comments. Thanks for everybody that commented. And I just bless everybody in Jesus' name. I pray the Lord show you the way to go, put light on your path, and that you're able to receive every blessing that he could possibly imagine to put on you. He's good, and that's what he desires to do. It's his desire to bless us because he's good. I saw a comic one time, Max, that I thought was awesome. It was Dennis the Menace. And, Dennis the Menace and his little friend, they always pester Miss Wilson.
Mr. Wilson. Yeah, I used to always
Mr. Wilson. Yeah. And they were pestering Mr. Wilson, Miss Wilson as well, through different clips, doing different things, as the cartoon goes on. And then all of a sudden they, how they always smell cookies when she's cooking, and they'll be like, so they're going to her house, and the one little kid, with the big glasses is looking at him the whole time, like, what are you doing going to her house? Because they've been doing all this mischief all day. And they knock on the door, and she comes to the door with a big plate of cookies and gives them a big plate of cookies. And so the little boy, the other little boy that's with, I forget his name, but it's with Dennis, is just bewildered. He said, so they're walking away eating cookies. And he said, you know, we hadn't been good all day. You know, why do we get cookies? And he said, we don't get cookies because we're good. We get cookies because Miss Wilson's good. And that's the goodness of the Lord that he desires to bless us. And I look at it like this. He created mercy, and he desires to use it. He's not mad at you. But, okay, that's the sermon for the night.
No, that's so good, man. God is always good, and there's nothing wrong with sharing that, man. I'm proud
and
to
everybody,
say that too.
I pray the Lord bless everybody. Every one of them. Light them up, Jesus.
You too, brother. All right, guys. And I want to thank Stefan Eckel. Thanks for sharing your story and sharing your thoughts and experience. Thanks so much. You have a great night as well, April, Tim Shea, even you, Cool Cat. All you guys have a great night. I do have to announce I will not be with you guys tomorrow. My dad is going to be discharged on Saturday, and I just need the extra time to get the house all just right and everything. So I need to basically kind of clear up my schedule for everything tomorrow. Got a few errands and everything to do. It's going to be a long day tomorrow, but yeah, I won't be doing a show tomorrow. So also won't be doing a show on Saturday. So I will see you guys back on Monday. I know, maybe that's disappointing, but that's how it is.
Everybody have a good one.
Yep. Stargazer, take it easy. And yes, we'll see you guys. There will still be recorded content from both Will Fix and I, but as far as the live show, we won't be back until, or at least I won't be back till Monday. Will Fix will be back on Tuesday the next week. Over and out, you guys. Have a great night.